Good evening, everyone. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth Valero. I'm the Activities Director at Miami Palmetto Senior. And this evening, I wanted to make sure that everyone has all the information that they're going to need in order to properly run their booster clubs this year. There is a lot of information that I believe is very simple to understand. So I thought it would be easiest to record this presentation so that anyone can watch at their own leisure. However, I do want to make sure that everyone understands that all the information that I am presenting in this presentation is required for you all to know in order to be able to run your booster clubs and to have all of your fundraisers for the year approved. So in order for us to know that you have viewed this presentation and that you understand everything that was presented in it, you are going to be asked at the end of the presentation to scan the QR code and sign in for the club. And so basically, if we don't get information from all of the clubs through that sign-in sheet, we will not be approving any fundraisers from this point forward. So please make sure if your sponsor is not present or has not viewed this video, or any of your officers that are necessary in order to make your fundraisers successful or have not viewed this presentation and do not sign in, make sure that you let them know because we will be checking that sign-in sheet anytime a booster club fundraising form comes to the activities office. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to know is that what are the different items that are required of a booster club? So first of all, every club is required to have a constitution and or bylaws on file with the Office of Student Activities. Those are due by October 1st. The roster of club officers and the sponsor coach are also due on October 1st. Anytime you have a general meeting, that's a meeting that's not just the officers, the entirety of the booster club is present. You are asked to keep a roster and a sign-in sheet of that general meeting, and the roster of your members after that meeting has been held is due after that first general meeting of the year. So make sure that you send us a complete roster of all your members after your first general meeting. We are also going to need a copy of any general meeting minutes kept on file as well. So you are only required to have one general meeting a year. You can have as many officers meetings as you need. We do not need a copy of your officer minutes, but we do need a copy of your general meeting minutes. So if after you've had your one meeting, please make sure that you send in a copy of those general meetings to the Office of Student Activities. If you have incorporated with the state of Florida as a Florida non-for-profit, we are going to need a copy of your articles of incorporation that are done through SunBiz. You're going to create a Florida non-for-profit on SunBiz, and that's where you can also apply to be a 501c3 tax exempt with the IRS. So if you are any of those things, we would like to have a copy of those articles of incorporation in case anyone is ever needed. And then finally, the most important thing, we need a copy of your liability insurance. Every booster club is required to have liability insurance in order to run fundraisers. That protects you and that protects the school as well. But most importantly, it's very important for you all to remember that you all are hosting fundraisers and different events where people come and things can happen. So you are opening yourself up to civil lawsuits if something were to go wrong or if someone were to get injured or whatever the case may be, property is damaged, things like that. So it's very important for you all to make sure that you have liability insurance for your booster club. Anytime you turn in a fundraiser, we will require you to show us proof that you are liability insured during that fundraiser time. So your copy of your liability insurance policy is due to us by the time you are planning to do your first fundraiser. All right. All items will be submitted via email through my email, esilverio@dateschools.net. Please sure it is a scanned digital copy that I can put into your digital file for every single booster club. We will be checking for these items. If they are not on file, your fundraisers will not be approved. Then just a little bit more about the liability insurance. Remember, it is to protect yourself, the school, and the school board. You must have the insurance agency where you buy your liability insurance. It must include the school board of Miami-Dade County listed as additional insured on the policy. It's usually found on the bottom left-hand corner or the bottom right-hand corner of the insurance policy. It'll say additional insured. And so you must include the school board of Miami-Dade County listed there. Tell the insurance agent that this is for a booster club for fundraising on behalf of the school. So they will know generally what type of insurance policy you need and how much to charge you. And those insurance policies usually are a year of coverage, and then you will have to then repay for the additional year after the year has expired. So remember, you cannot require any payment or any donation from a family. You can suggest, you can ask for it, but you cannot require it. Any money given by individuals or business is considered a donation, and it must be self-initiated. So you cannot go to a child in order to participate in this club or this athletic. You must be a member of the booster club, or you must have donated a certain amount of money, or you must have participated in all of the fundraisers, part of the fundraisers, whatever it may be. We cannot make those requirements, but we can ask, and we can suggest, and we can tell people that the only way to fund all the things that we want to do is through these booster club fundraisers. So please just make sure that you are never putting the word required anywhere. All right. Do not solicit funds unless you have received the approval from the school and or the region. And what we mean by that is the use of fundraising form 6571. So I'm going to go over all of that in a little bit. All handouts that are given to parents or to students having to do so with booster fundraising events or donations must go directly through the activities office or athletics office accordingly. What I mean by that is anytime you're sending out a general mailer out to your entire booster club, you should bring it by my office if you're an activities booster, or by the office of athletics if you're an athletics booster, to make sure that everything you've written on that form or on that flyer or request is something that we consider all right for you to put out there. We just want to make sure that you guys aren't saying or asking things that are necessarily not appropriate or aren't in keeping with school board guidelines. So we want to make sure that everything you put out there is okay. So bring it by or email it to us and ask us to take a look at it before you send it out there. All right. Don't send things out without our approval, because we don't want you guys to get in trouble for anything. All right, so fundraising, which is mainly what you all are here for. To request fundraising events, you must fill out the appropriate form in order to do so. So anytime you are having an on-campus fundraiser, that means selling shirts here, selling concessions, things that are happening on the physical campus, you must use Miami-Dade County Public Schools Form 6570. Anytime you are going to use that form, please make sure it is the most updated form. And the only way to do that is to go directly through the MDCPS website or to follow the link that is on the activities website. All right. So that's on-campus fundraising. If you are having an off-campus fundraiser, so things like Chipotle nights, anything that happens online, so snap raises, things like that, any sort of fundraiser that is happening off-campus. So a dinner night that you're hosting, a silent auction that's taking place at a location, all of that sort of stuff must be signed by both the principal and the region. And you're going to use MDCPS form 6571. All right. Both those forms must be typed. Please do not write on the form, type the form completely. You can go to the activities site, the Miami Palmetto Senior High School website, and then the activities section. You'll see that there is a booster club guidelines section there where you can get your information. Have contracted services and instructors. So a lot of times our booster clubs are trying to raise funds in order to get specific coaches for dance or cheer, or different groups, different people from outside in the community to help come and train our students. Any contracted instructor must be a level 2 volunteer. So that means they must be cleared by Miami-Dade County Public Schools in the volunteer program and be considered level 2, meaning they've been fingerprinted. Because they're going to be working one-on-one with the students, they must be a level 2 volunteer and that they have been fingerprinted by the county. they must also submit a contracted services form, which is form 2453. And that is something that can only be done by a Palmetto employee. So either the coach for the school or the sponsor of the club. And they must receive their payment through the school. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what do we do if we're the ones that we want to pay for it? If you want to pay for it out of your Booster Club fundraise funds, what you would do is you would donate the money into the school with a letter stating that this money is to be used for the paying of the following vendor in order to do the following thing. So if I am hiring a cheerleading choreographer, then I would fundraise all the money, have it in the Booster Club bank account. I would write a check to Miami Palmetto Senior High School, and I would write a letter, dear Miami Palmetto, the Booster Club for cheerleading has fundraised this money and would like to donate this money to Miami Palmetto Senior High School to pay so-and-so in order to choreograph for the cheerleading coaches from this time to this time, or for the 23-24 school year, whatever it may be, okay? Signed by the officers and donated into the school, all right? And then we will put it, the coach or the sponsor will put it into the appropriate account to make sure that the vendor is paid as contracted through the contracted services form, all right? Boosters cannot directly pay instructors. Please make sure that you guys aren't paying them directly, because this contracted services form is used in the case of something going wrong, a vendor doesn't do what they were contracted to do, etc. It protects us, the school, and also it protects the vendor because it ensures that the vendor will be paid for their services, okay? So make sure that you are using that process in order to pay any outside contracted services. When it comes to banquets and travel, it is very important for you all to also note the same way that we pay outside coaches and sponsors, you must do the same thing when it comes to banquets and travel. All banquets and special dinners that are for celebrating of the teams or the groups, and all travel expenses cannot be paid directly by the booster, all right? You must, again, donate the money in and write a letter to state what it's to be used for. So if, for example, the soccer team, the soccer booster wants to pay for the soccer team to go on an away trip, then they would write the check and then say it is to pay for the buses or the hotel or a dinner at night or whatever it may be. And then the school will do the appropriate way to make sure that these people get the money that they need in order to pay for these travel expenses. And the same thing for banquets as well, making sure that the hotel, the restaurant, whatever it is that's being used for banquets is paid properly, all right? All right, so where is all this information located? Well, first of all, there is a couple of places. You're going to go to our Palmetto website, palmettopanthers.org, and it'll take you right there. And you can see that the Palmetto website has a couple of different things. You can go to the activities section and you're going to click on activities home. And you're going to see right here, it says Booster Club Guidelines and Forms. And it has this PowerPoint presentation that I just went through, as well as the fundraising form for the community and fundraising form for on-school grounds. You can also go back to the main site and you can go to the virtual activities office that's here under important links. And when it loads the virtual activities office, you can see that there's a section right here in the desk area where it takes you to Booster Club information. So you can click on that as well, and it's going to take you right back to that same Booster Club area. So there's a lot of places that you can look as well. All right. So once I'm going to go ahead and go back to the slideshow. And you can see here now that here I'm taking you to the QR code for you guys to scan and be able to sign in for today. So please make sure that you have done so in order to get credit for being here, so that we can go ahead and approve all your fundraisers as you bring them in. Make sure that anytime you are sending me any of the documents that I required, your articles of incorporation, your bylaws, etc., that you send that in through email. It's always best, however, please, if you are bringing in a fundraising request form, please do not send those in emails. Find a way to bring them in person, because if there's any question or if there's any sort of thing that you have done wrong on those forms, it's better if I just explain it to you right then and there so you can make the fix. Please make sure that all of your fundraising requests have a start date and an end date. So if the event is taking place one day, please don't put February 2024, put February 15, 2024. And if you are running a fundraiser that's lasting the entirety of the year, put October 2nd, 2023 to May 15, 2024, or whatever your dates are, because the region will not approve them unless you have specific dates written out. Make sure that you follow the directions of the form completely, and that any changes that are made, the form must be reapproved. So make sure that you send it in ready to go. So if there are any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Currently my phone in the office is offline. It's not working. They're trying to fix that. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send me an email, and I will make sure to try to respond as quickly as possible. My open office hours are always during lunches. So if you want to pop in during lunch, that's not a problem. However, if you would like to make an appointment to see me privately for any questions or processes, then go ahead and send me an email so I can set a date for a meeting. All right. So other than that, please make sure that you have that you reach out with any questions, comments, or concerns. And I'm here. Our athletic director, Mr. Mike Polizano, is open and for any questions that you have regarding athletics. However, when it comes to Booster Club questions, you can filter those questions to me. If I need his assistance or his input on anything, I'll reach out. So other than that, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much, and look forward to approving all your fundraisers this year.